Today we're going to make chicken Scarpariello, which literally translates into chicken of the shoemaker. Why? I have no idea, and I don't think anybody else does either. But it's awfully good, it's awfully hot and spicy. So if you don't like hot and spicy, I'll show you how to vary that during the recipe. We've got everything we need here. We have some hot cherry peppers. And when they say hot, they're not kidding. Some pepperoncini. These are completely optional. I like to use them. Red, green, and yellow pepper. I use the yellow mostly for color. 1 white onion, salt and pepper, 4 good-sized cloves of garlic, not peeled yet. I'm going to peel and chop these. If you want to learn how to easily peel garlic, watch my video on making basil pesto. It's easy to do if you know how. Obviously we have chicken here. I messed up and I ended up getting boneless, skinless thighs when I wanted whole thighs. I recommend you make this with the whole thighs. And obviously drumsticks. And then also some baby gold potatoes. We're going to cut these in half and they will cook in the oven. A little bit of garlic powder, some rosemary, olive oil, and that's all the ingredients, and we'll start to put it together. Since your master chef is a moron, I left out one of the most important ingredients of the whole thing. These are Italian sausage, fennel sausage, 2 hot links, 2 sweet links. These are very important to the recipe, so I'll try to improve my memory. Okay, so now I've got my chicken in this bowl. I'm going to make a quick little marinade here. I've got some rosemary, not a lot, but some rosemary. I've given a little chop to it so it's finer. That aside. Salt, pretty generously. I'm using sea salt. And black pepper again, pretty generously. And some garlic powder. Yes, I did say garlic powder. For the purpose of this marinade, it's a little bit better because it's a quick marinade. And the powder works best. Olive oil. I'm going to get in there and mix it up. As soon as I finish doing this, I'm going to handle some raw food and eat it. Salmonella, I've got salmonella. Okay, so that's really well mixed up. We're going to set this aside and let it marinate while we do the rest of the dish. Hit that recording button. Okay, we're going to brown up this sausage. We're not going to have to cook it all the way through, just a little bit of olive oil. There's plenty of fat in the sausage, and when I say plenty, I do mean it. So we're going to go in here with this. We're on fairly high heat. Now, one of the things you want to do with this is you want to pierce the sausage. This is going to let some of the fat and salt release during this browning process. Makes it a little less greasy. Okay. Couple of minutes on each side. We'll come back in a minute and turn it over. Okay, at this point you should be preheating your oven to 400 degrees. And I'm just gonna give this chicken another little mix. And then I'm gonna wash my hands again, obviously. And we're almost ready to cook. Okay, at this point, I've cut the sausage into pieces, about 3 or 4 pieces each length. And I'm gonna put that aside for the moment. Now, there's a fair bit of fat in here. I like to remove this because it makes the recipe a little less greasy. It's got plenty of fat. So, but leave that nice brown fond there because we're gonna use that. Just to keep you guys on your toes, I did forget another ingredient, which we're gonna use in a few minutes. White balsamic vinegar. Do not use dark balsamic vinegar. A little tutorial, white balsamic vinegar doesn't have to stay in the casks as long, so it doesn't take on the color. If you buy a bottle this size of what is supposed to be balsamic vinegar, the dark stuff, and it costs you less than $30, you're getting crap, because the stuff you buy in big bottles in the big box store is white balsamic vinegar with molasses added to it. And if you don't believe me, get some of that cheap stuff and pour it on a saucer and watch it separate. Real dark balsamic vinegar is very expensive. If you can't find the white balsamic, white wine vinegar is going to work just as well. The balsamic has a nice little flavor. So I swear that's the last thing. So now we're going to fry the chicken, and I'm going to take the cherry peppers. If you get them in oil, pour out some of that oil in there, and we're going to drain the rest of that off. And then some olive oil. Bring the flame up. Mix that up. I'm going to start laying my chicken down. And again, remember here, we're not cooking the chicken through, we're just browning it. Put those legs down first. This one's not cooperating, there we go. Okay, so give those a couple of minutes to brown. You don't want to overcrowd the pan when you're browning things, so we're not going to put the thighs in yet. You hear that very satisfying sizzle coming up. Okay, now we're going to check these. There we go. Got a nice little brown on them. This one needs a little more. Let me switch to some tongs. This one doesn't seem to want to cooperate. Okay. Again, we get a little brown on these on the other side. And I'm going to set them aside and do the thighs. I mentioned this earlier. I screwed up and ended up with boneless chicken, or boneless, skinless thighs. If you want to make this the right way, use the whole thigh. So this is going to reduce the flavor a little bit. It also reduces the fat, but this is not exactly a dietary dish, so you may as well go for the whole thighs. Okay, taking these off. The veggies ready. And that's beautiful. So we're going to go in with our thighs. The reason I made that mistake was boneless, skinless was written on the package so small I couldn't even read it. So this is going to be better with whole thighs. Again, we don't want to crowd the pan too much, but I only got one little one left, so we'll get him in there. So I've taken the onion and the peppers and cut them up into rings and then cut those in half. So they're all ready. Yes, you think by the time you got to be my age, you remembered not to put a metal utensil on a hot pan and then pick it up. No fool like an old fool, and I'm living proof. I'm going to turn this heat down now. So as soon as these come out, we're going to start with the vegetables. Okay. Again, we're not cooking these through, we're just getting a little brown on them. Okay. I'm going to take this white balsamic vinegar, go in there, deglaze the pan, and get all this nice fond flowing. Remember, the dark stuff is the good stuff. Okay. Now we have our peppers and onions. Put them right in there. salt. A little bit more olive oil. And we're going to saute these for a while. You don't want to saute them too much because this is going in the oven at 400 degrees for 40 minutes. So just going to let these start to soften a little bit. Pardon me. In goes the garlic. You don't want to fry the garlic. We'll saute it. Got a beautiful color. Perfect. It smells fantastic. Let that go for a second. Okay, so that's just about ready. I drain the rest of these cherry peppers. They're sliced. If you can't get them sliced, you can buy the whole cherry peppers. If you don't want it hot, you can find sweet cherry peppers. And that's going to remove most of the real hot and spicy from the dish. These things are hot and spicy. If you're going to slice cherry peppers, remember to immediately wash your hands thoroughly, just like jalapenos or anything else, because cherry peppers are hot. That. I'm going to go in with the sausage. Put that all together. Start going back in with the chicken. Oh, I gotta use my hands. Get some of this, some of the vegetables up on top over here. Kind of mix this all up. It would help if I had a bigger pan, but this is the biggest one I've got. So we're a little bit tight here. Just a little bit of sausage on the top. Now this step is entirely up to you. I have the pepperoncini. I like to put some of these in here. If you don't care for these, then you can leave this out. Kind of traditional in Scarpariello, and they're going to roast up very nicely in the oven. And then lastly, we have the potatoes, which have been cut up in half. You don't have to use these baby golds. You can pretty much use any kind of small potato. Cut them so they will cook evenly, and they're going to go on top. I'm going to spread those out in a second. Some people like red potatoes, or potatoes rather. It's really kind of up to you. I like to use white potatoes in this. You could even do it with purple potatoes. Now we're going to hit it with a little bit more salt and pepper. Mostly to get those potatoes salted. Some more pepper. Turn the fire off from under here, and that's it. This is going to go into the oven at 400 degrees. Oh man, this is heavy. Be careful. Okay. So 400 degrees for 40 minutes. And we will let it be and be back in a little bit. Okay, and there you have it. I just pulled it out after 40 minutes in the oven. Everything's beautifully cooked. Chicken, the potatoes are nice and brown. The peppers, sausage, looking really good. And it's gonna be hot. So I'll plate it up in just a little bit and enjoy it. So wait a minute and I will sample the goods. Now I've told you a bit of a lie. A day has gone by since I made this. I was having a little rummy tummy last night and this is very hot, and it's actually better, like so many things with a lot of flavor profiles in it, to have it the next day. So now I'm going to plate up for what I'm actually going to eat for dinner tonight. Get some of those breasts in there, some sausage, and potatoes, some of these lovely vegetables. Get that all on a plate. Now, one thing, if you start eating this, these legs with your fingers, make sure you wash them because this is plenty potent. Taste this up. Hold on. Nice glass of wine to go with it. He said, spilling the wine all over the place. That's perfect with these chili peppers. You might want to add a little salt. At this point, it's up to you. Those peppers have quite a bite. A little bit of this perfectly roasted potato to cool things off. And there you have it, chicken Scarpariello. This is really, really, really good. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please hit that thumbs up, like that. And subscribe to the channel if you could, and comment down below. That helps me too. So have a great night, have a great meal. I'm gonna eat.